Okay, Nadia, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Nadia Zairawan. I am 22 years old. I graduated from Law Faculty of Universitas Indonesia International Class Program. And last year, I enrolled in the Leiden Summer School Program, specializing international criminal law. Other than my education, for the past 4 years, I've been active in organization. Namely, I was the board of chairman for the legal law proceeding for in University Indonesia. And I also had the opportunity to intern at the Banten High Court. And on my free time, I like to volunteer for nonprofit organization as a tutor. I'm very highly motivated and honored to be here today to be able to interviewed, and I am positive that I could be part of the Attorney General's family.
Okay, fine. What is your strengths and weaknesses?
I would believe that one of my strengths is that I'm a very dedicated and highly motivated person. Since a young age, I've been sure that I wanted to pursue a career in law, and that has shown me to become a very ambitious and dedicated person. I also am very capable in public speaking as well as leadership experiences. However, because I'm a very highly motivated person, I would say that one of my weaknesses would have to be I'm very competitive towards other that also have made me feel very it's very hard for me to trust other people as well in doing work. However, I'm working on that in personal growth. So I would say that will be one of my strengths and weaknesses.
So, talking about your future career, why do you choose the as a prosecutor than other opportunities or other jobs like policewomen, so judge or others opportunity that you have to try, but why do you choose as a prosecutor?
So I've always wanted to pursue a career in law. And ever since joining university, I've joined in multiple moot court competition as well as studying legal procedures in class. And I feel from all of the occupation and career there are, being a public prosecutor is very interesting, but also challenging because we are given such a high praise to protect the victim's right itself, and that is part of why the justice system is built. It is built for the people itself, and I feel that it's a very noble and very passion of mine to be doing that for my future career.
To protect the victim, you said that you want to protect the victim. Is it one choice for the prosecutor? How if you want to be like police women also can protect to victim? What do you think, and what is your opinion about this statement?
It is true that not only the public prosecutor itself that is protecting the victim's right, but it is one of the key components within the judicial system itself. Without having the knowledge of the public prosecuting and without having the knowledge to how rightfully protect the victim's right, then justice wouldn't be served itself. Yes, there are other careers such as you mentioned before, police women or judge itself, or even becoming the lawyers of the perpetrators, because again everyone deserves their right to be protected. However, I've seen that being a public prosecutor is a very noble job because we are not only representing the victims, we are also representing the state itself and the power of the law that can bring, which is mainly justice.
Yeah, Nadia. But I think if you would be a lawyer, you can also protect the victim when your client is from the victim as well. So what do you think? What is your the most consideration that you have to choose prosecutor than a lawyer because of the lawyer can also protect the victim.
Yes. Again, the prosecutor, the public prosecutors itself represent the country, represent the state and what the law has to offer to people. And I do believe that it's a very important job because without the right person to have this such a high integrity and this passion, then the justice system would fall and it wouldn't be right because there are victims different. I think the one of the difference between a prosecutors and a defense attorney would have to be that there is a term where you said that you defend whoever has the money. And as a public prosecutor, we are simply civil servants that I don't think we can choose which cases that we want to do or which cases that or which victims that we want to represent. We viewed the victim or we viewed people itself as simply the people and everyone under the law they are viewed the same without any comparison. So I think that's what makes being a public prosecutors or a civil servant itself more of a noble, and that's why I choose that career path for my future.
Okay. And then what is your main goal when you be a prosecutor for the next future?
So last year, I joined the summer school program in Leiden, and I got the opportunity to meet one of a public prosecutors from Singapore, and she joins court, international court, and she said that it's a really thrilling and really good opportunity, and I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to represent Indonesia in the international law itself. I wanted to participate in activities such as that and bringing the legal system in Indonesia, which is already being so much improved under the last few years, to be more better and be even greater. So that is one of my goals. That's why I wanted to join this institution.
Okay. Uh, do you see do you see about the case from the prosecutor Jopi? What do you think about this case, and what is your idea for how to handle from this case if you are prosecutor?
If I'm not mistaken, is it the case where he was a public prosecutor itself? However, he was stopped or he was fired from the state attorney because he made some unprofessional and unethical comments in I believe it was Twitter or in social media. But he was the first one to appeal to the constitutional court that said that whoever become the state attorney has to be part of the attorney general institution instead of it becoming a political position. Is that right?
Uh, if you were Jovi, what should you do when you got the some authoritarian leader and some maybe the pressure leader? What should you do when you got like a Jovi?
Uh, I don't fully agree on what I don't agree what he did. It was very unethical and it was simply unprofessional what he did. And if I were put in that situation, I wouldn't be spreading it through social media because I don't think that I would do anything. I would other than riled up the public's view itself on the Attorney General's office. Instead, I would go through the right channels. I do believe there is a whistleblower system. There was under a state general regulation. I think it was made in 2020. And so if whoever become the leader is not adhering to the code of conduct of being public prosecutors or attorney itself, then there is a system to improve it other than just blowing it up on social media and just creating chaos within the community.
Is that working?
In some cases, it may work, but however, in this case, in Jofi's case, the only result that it done is it's not. I don't see it becoming more of a result other than just becoming it more a social issue and bringing the public and people who aren't aware of the law and the regulation itself to be part of the topic. When I think there are other method and other results that could be better.
Okay. Yes. So the next question is, who is your role model from the prosecutor?
I have a few. I believe that under his reign is the state general attorney, Mr. Bahrudin. Under his reign, the public prosecutor office has gained more of a public trust, I would say, because he has dealt with cases that has solved billions, if not trillions, of losses and the state's money itself. And he's a very strong and firm leader, I would say, under his rule. Again, eradicating corruption and also implementing I wouldn't say new, but a legal development in especially in restorative justice under Article 15 of 2000 under the regulation of Attorney General's number 15 of 2020, again specializing on restorative justice. And also my second role model would have to be Mr. Narendra. He's also a public prosecutor, and he was one of my teacher in Universitas Indonesia. I have the honor to be part of a lot of his cases, a lot of his classes. I was firmly interested in while he was teaching diplomacy law, and he was sharing about his experience while he was part of the uh, attorney attaché, and it's one of my goals to become an attaché general, and so I really look up to him.
Is there any role model from the female prosecutor from you?
I don't differentiate between genders. I do believe that women can achieve whatever men can, so I don't see a difference between the genders. But those are the two people that I look up to career-wise, and I believe they're very professional and very ethical role model as well.
Okay. Talking about the capital city from our country, we have to move our capital city from the Jakarta to the IKN, or we call Nusantara. What do you think? Do you agree from this decision or disagree from this decision? Can you explain to me?
After reading upon news and the articles, I think I do agree. Considering that I've lived in Jakarta my whole life and I've seen how crowded and how populated it is, and one of the reason why we move or why the government choose to move it to Nusantara is that uh, to reduce the population, the overcrowded, and also we the one who live in Jakarta know how climate change has very much play a role due to this population, and I do think that this could be one of the reasons and one of the solution to reduce that. However, further implementation needs to be regulated and to be mandated in order to prevent Nusantara to becoming just like Jakarta. Because what stops Nusantara to becoming overcrowded and overpopulated, just like Jakarta, if there isn't any right regulations and implementation. And also believe that one of the very thing that need to be viewed there is that the rights of the masyarakat adat, considering before Nusantara was created, there were a population of people who lived there, and I think the government itself needs to further implement that to create a fair and justice transition.
Do you know masyarakat adat in English, Nadia?
I think cultural population, I think. I don't know.
Indigenous people.
Indigenous people, yeah.
Traditional community, masyarakat adat itu bisa masyarakat tradisional, kayak istilahnya ya, ada yang masyarakat hukum adat, but in we are familiar in the international in the term of indigenous people, ya. So in the term of you agree for the decision that capital city move to the IKN or Nusantara capital city, and then automatically, do you agree for the additional debt? Sorry, additional need more money, need more money, and then we have to credit some. We have some credit from the international funding like IMF. So others, do you agree that we have to add additional money or additional loan from the international funding?
I believe that if it's necessary, then it must be done. Otherwise, how else will we get the money? I don't think raising taxes on the people itself would do a great job, other than just again riled up the publics. Especially nowadays, the public is very much they're very hot-headed, and the slightest um, changes they would protest. And I believe that if one of the solution is picking up loan from the EMF itself, and again, if it's necessary, then I think it must be done. And I believe that it took consideration itself before putting in the loan.
Yeah. So uh in the term of agree, and then depend on the necessary, of course we need, and then of course we have to take this opportunity uh to make some contract for the loan, the permission from the EMF that we have need some money. But I mean, like for the next generation, have to pay all of the money, all of the debt, all of the loan from the country. Do you agree that we are, as the next generation, have to do that because of our previous career, no, I mean our previous senior, or our previous what I mean, from the authority and the decision maker from this decision. What do you think? We have to pay.
So first of all, I've read that while building IKN or Nusantara, they wanted to, other than just handing out loan from the EMF, they wanted to have a foreign investor. However, not all of the foreign investors that they suggested would invest, all of them invested. So I think this was their last effort to take out a loan, because again, uh, this generation wouldn't have to dealt with it, but the future generation, meaning my generation, would have to dealt with it. And I believe that if it's in the public best interest that we need to take a loan, and then the government deemed it after very much consideration, then I think that is just something that the future generation will have to think about, because we don't know the prospect of the future itself. This could be really valuable for the country. If there isn't any progress, if there isn't any change, then again, progress itself wouldn't be made. So I think this would be the right risk to take to further develop Indonesia.
Okay. Maybe my feedback is when we are talking about the IKN or movement, the movement or capital city to the Jakarta to move to the IKN, why don't you mention that we can take the best experiences from the other countries like Vietnam, maybe from the Ho Chi Minh to the Hanoi. We can take the best lesson learned from the Malaysia, like the from the Kuala Lumpur to Putrajaya and other countries. Why don't you mention about the best practice or lesson learned from the other countries, Nadia? What do you think? Or you don't realize that you have to mention, or maybe you don't need to mention that, or what do you think?
I haven't I haven't thought about that. Maybe I could mention it if the interviewer asks. I don't know if I could say that I kind of viewed it as what the United States did, but I don't have further research on that. The United States is basically their capital is in Washington, so the government is in Washington. However, they do business mostly in New York, and I feel like that's what the Indonesian government wanted to do is that, because I don't think we can fully move the business, what the business has been established here in Jakarta to be fully moved in IKN, but I feel like they wanted to do it like what in Washington. So the government institution would be fully in government in the Washington, or Washington is like the Nusantara and
Yeah.
New York is Jakarta. I don't know if I can say that.
Maybe if you want to mention about the United States, like the New York to Washington DC, I think is so far because the United States cannot compare with Indonesia because of the Indonesia is development countries and United States it will Commonwealth. So maybe you can mention like Southeast Asia like Vietnam maybe or Malaysia or others, yeah. Yeah, because it is so quite different between Indonesia and United States.
Okay.
The reason is okay that we have to centralize from the business just specific for the Jakarta and then IKN for the central of the administration, public administration. And this is the last question maybe this is yes, what is restorative justice, and then how that the restorative justice can work in the prosecution, and then as the prosecutor, what should you do when you want to apply restorative justice? Okay, mention it.
Okay, so first of all, restorative justice is a legal proceeding, mainly to focus on how to restore how the situation before the crime was committed, and it involves the community, it involves the perpetrators and the victim itself. However, to conduct this activities or this to conduct restorative justice, there need to be an agreement between the perpetrators and the victim itself. And specifically for how public prosecutors can implement this practice is through the uh, Attorney General's regulation number 15 2020 that stipulated on which cases can be implemented for restorative justice. And I do personally believe that it's a very much needed and anticipated legal progressive, because there are so many cases where restorative justice needed, but it wasn't very much made aware in Indonesia. However, it was regulated in the criminal code. I believe it was an Article 403, if I'm not mistaken, that and again regulated in the new Attorney General's regulation, that for cases, there are specific principles or regulation on which cases can restorative justice be implemented. It could be implemented mainly on cases that do not extend the 5-year period for prison for crimes, and also for losses that do not exceed to 2.5 million rupiah. Cases such as under the criminal code, cases such as light embezzlement or fraud or light theft could be implemented for this restorative justice. Other cases involving children underage children, and also cases regarding women's can be implemented through restorative justice, and also cases relating to narcotics. However, it could only be used for people who have only been one-time users or people who mistook narcotics. So those are the requirements for restorative justice. Again, to name it again, maximum period of prison 5 years, losses, causes, losses that are below 2.5 million, and it cannot be implemented to people who have committed crime before. And also, again, it's very important. And as a public prosecutor, we can adhere to the set of regulation while implementing this principle. And one of the cases that I found is very popular, and I think I learned this in school, is that the Grandma Aminah case that was in 2009, where again, restorative justice has been made aware of, but it wasn't very much implemented back then. So in this cases where she stole or took fruits, like three fruits, and then the public prosecutor deemed her with the article 362, which is theft, and she was sentenced to 1 year and I think 4 months in prison. And this was before restorative justice. If it was made aware that restorative justice was back then, that cases such as her cases wouldn't be prosecuted. And I feel like it's very important for the public to know this, and that this is one of the way of how the public prosecutor itself is trying to improve the justice system.
Okay, Nadia, can you mention the types of criminals that can be handled by restorative justice? How many types, and can you mention it?
So for light criminal offenses, such as light embezzlement, light theft, and also light embezzlement, light theft, light fraud. It was regulated in the, I think, article in the criminal code, again, and then further stipulated in the State General's Attorney Regulation number 15, 2020. The types for this is that, again, they cannot be recidivists. They cannot have committed this crime before. And also it needs to be for the type of crimes that is under 5 years of imprisonment, and also cannot exceed above losses in for 2.5 million in rupiah. So again, like crimes such as those that I've mentioned previously, like crimes, also narcotics, and then crimes for children underage, and also crimes that related to women.